Hey there, and welcome to Sound Mind. I'm your host, Teresa Pryor, and we're so happy to have you with us today. We want to thank you for joining us to this platform where we hope to connect Jesus and mental health. First, we want to ask you to tag your friends. We want to help ask you to invite people to come and join this platform because we believe that we have things that are going to help you, information that's going to help you live a better and healthier life. Before we go any further, we want to take this time to thank our executive producer, Dr. E. Dewey Smith, for even making this possible with Hope TV and providing this platform for you all to get this information. And those people who are behind the scenes, thank you all, thank you all, thank you all for making this possible for me and for those that are receiving this information. Listen, got something extremely special for you today. I am excited. I'm excited about our guest. Her name is Risha Taylor. Today we have a special topic today to talk about, and I'm ready to dive right in. So let me introduce to you our guest. Risha Taylor is a registered and licensed dietitian and nutritionist and certified diabetes care and education specialist with 25 years of experience in nutrition, health, and wellness. She specialized training in motivational interviewing, and she is certified in lifestyle coaching. Here's what I know, that she practices what she preaches, because when she's not on an adventure with her family, she's somewhere running, swimming, jumping rope, line dancing, and all that to stay active. What I know about her is that she is active and she is a healthy individual. She believes in what she preaches and she lives that as well. And so we're going to invite her on right now because we want to talk about being healthy and in having our sound mind. So come on, Risha, why don't you join us? Join this Sound Mind team today. Come on, join us, Risha. Come on, Sound Mind. Come on, Sound Mind. Let's just welcome Risha Taylor with us today. Hey, Risha,
Hey, thank you for having
how
me.
are you? Hey, I am
I'm doing
super
well.
excited, y'all. Good. I am super excited to have you with us today to even just have this conversation. It's funny that we are having this conversation, but I think it's such a good conversation to have, especially coming outside of this the pandemic that we've been in. There are so many things that we could talk about in reference to health and the things that people are. We all talk about this COVID-19, but we also talk about the COVID-19 pounds that people probably are experiencing from
The quarantine
being shut
15.
in. Yeah, exactly. 15 plus some, plus some. Uh, but I think we should talk about, you know, where what this has done, some things that people are feeling, and we just got a couple of questions that we want to talk to you today about. I'm sure that you're going to be able to help us with what. Why don't you just first just talk to us about some health things, some health issues in regards to COVID-19, some things that you've seen, and then we're going to go into some other things after that. But you go ahead, just tell us some things that you want to talk about first.
All right. And again, thanks for having me. COVID-19 has taken things to another level in terms of health, wellness, nutrition.
Yeah,
And we, especially our community, we have to be even more on top of things now because we are the ones living with chronic conditions. And we've seen day in, day out that COVID-19 affects
yeah,
those who have chronic conditions even more. And so
yeah.
there's no time like the present. We can't do anything about what happened yesterday or last week. All we have is
Right.
today and going forward. And so now is the time to make some of those changes we've been talking about. And it's time to
Hmm.
stop talking about it and be about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some people have really taken this time to do that. Um, for me personally, since we talking, I guess we just be honest and transparent here. But I have like a little group with some of my cousins, and we are an accountability group to one another. So what we do is, no matter what we do on a daily basis or weekly basis or whatever, we take a picture of whatever it is that we've done and send it to the group to say, hey,
Oh,
this is what we did today. You know, now some people we haven't seen in a month or so. Some people do something daily. Some people haven't seen, in since last year. However, it's just accountability. You know, every once in a while somebody say, "Hey, have you seen so and so and so?" But it helps that other person may know that somebody is looking for them to do something. So just having
absolutely.
that accountability group, keeps all of us accountable one to the other. And so I think that is something that we definitely need. Just because you have to do something. So I think that
Right.
is something that we are all that something that we all have to do. Let me ask you a question. I have so many questions, so I'm going to be going like really fast because I got a lot of stuff I want to ask you. Um, Let me ask you. There's this question that's out there, and I just want to know if this is really true. Uh, that question that you've heard over the years, that you are what you eat. Is that really a real question? I mean, is that really true? Help us with that. Is that for real?
Yeah, it really, really is. I heard my college professor, I think, I was kind of undecided what my major was going to be. And my college professor, when we came into the room for the classroom for the first time, it was written on the wall, "You are what you eat." And I was like, okay, yeah, I heard that, been there, done that. But as he went on with his introduction lesson, and began to talk, I said, man, I mean, you really are. And everything we eat, we don't have control over everything in our lives, but we do have control over what we put in our mouth from day to day, from minute to minute, from
Hmm.
hour to hour. And everything we choose, those choices we make are either feeding our health or they're breeding disease. And it's every food choice that we make. So those choices are either helping to improve our health, sustain our health, or those foods are tearing down, knocking down, and
Wow.
causing disease in our body. And so we have to think about it. When I meet with people and I say, hey, I want you to start by writing down every single thing you had to eat yesterday, and then we can actually just go through that one list and say, okay, so how many of these foods were actually leading to or causing disease, and how many were leading you to health and wellness? And so you are what you eat. I would have to say that's true.
So when you ask a person to actually write down everything that they eat, is that really doable? I mean, can
you
people
know
really
and
do
not
that?
every day all day, not every day all day, but I do charge people. I say at a minimum pick 1 or 2 weekdays and 1 weekend day, and make a commitment to yourself. And my rule is, you bite, you write, you drink, you ink. So anything you're eating, anything you're drinking, you
Oh,
put it
wow.
on paper. All right, but you're not doing it
Wait, say
every day,
that
because that's like
again.
a part-time job. You bite, you
You
write,
bite,
you
you
drink,
write, you drink,
you
you ink.
drink, you ink. So anything you eat or drink, if it's walking by a coworker's desk and you grab a peppermint, anything you bite on, you're writing it down. And again, not to make it a part-time job, but so that you could have a real life picture of what you're doing. So much of our eating is mindless that we people have a hard time
Yeah.
even recalling what they had to eat.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
having that real life picture gives us something to work with, gives you something to look at. Okay, where can I realistically make some changes to improve my health?
Boy, that in itself was just like, okay, okay. I just feel like saying, okay, I'll do better. Here we go. I knew this was going to be this kind of interview, and okay, I'm going to do better. Okay. All right. It's all I can say to any of this. All right, so let me ask this question, because what we know is that a lot of people are battling, even with the COVID pandemic, all that. You've heard a lot about depression and people dealing with depression, and I would like to know, how do foods and depression, how do they meet? How do they intersect? Help us with that, as far as do the foods that we eat have anything to do with how we may feel? Can you help
Right.
our listeners and our watchers with that, our viewers with that?
Absolutely. Our food and nutrition, I mean, it has to do with our brain function, our mental well being, our stress, anxiety. There's so much research
Hmm.
that's been done the last 10 years and currently being done that links improper nutrition with anxiety, with stress in kids, ADHD, all of these things. And it's not that an unhealthy diet leads to them, but an unhealthy diet is definitely a contributing factor. And proper nutrition, proper sleep or adequate sleep, and exercise, they're so intertwined that we really can't deal one without the other. And so a person who does not get adequate sleep, their hunger hormones, or their hormones that tell them that they've had enough to eat, they're thrown off. So that means a person may eat more, they may snack more, they have higher blood sugars, they usually weigh more, and all of those things can also lead to stress, anxiety. And so when we look at our mental health and our well-being, we be fooling ourselves to not pay attention to nutrition where that's concerned. You really be doing yourself a disservice.
So what do we do though, and not attempting to make excuses, but I'm sure I'm gonna say this, but I've said this to you before, and I remember the I remember the answer that you gave me. When you don't when your time is sometimes
Time.
filled, and it's hard to find the time, um based on your schedule, to do
Right.
the working out, and some of the things that you need to do.
Right.
How do you fit those things into your schedule, because you need to do those things, but sometimes jobs and things will cause you to, uh they just cause you sometimes to not be able to find that time that you need to do. How do you
That
find
time.
that time? Yeah,
Right.
I'm just
Right.
gonna
And, and,
let you
and I
go.
recall us talking about that in the past. And my response, and still is my response today, we either find time to eat healthy and make healthier choices now, or we will have to take time later to manage our disease. And that's whether it's the high blood pressure, diabetes, whatever it is. And at the end of the day, Teresa, people make time for things that are important to them. I mean, and that's just what it
Absolutely.
is. We make time to scroll
Absolutely.
social media if that's what's important to us. We make time to
Absolutely.
eat if that's important to us. And our health and well-being, if that's not something that you value, you will have a hard time making time for it or finding time for it. But it has to be planned, it has to be scheduled, just like we schedule everything else in our day. And that's not going to look the same for everyone. But what can you do? And so none of us can do the same thing, but all of us can do something. And what is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
something we can do? Can
Yeah.
I just practice slowing down? Can I eliminate distractions at my mealtime so I can practice mindful eating? For some people, it may be, can I add a serving of fruit and vegetables to every meal? I'm not taking everything
Mhm.
out, but I'm going
Mhm.
to add a fruit and a
Mhm.
vegetable serving.
Yeah.
Can I find 10 minutes to be active over the course of my day. So it's just about,
Yeah.
we'll be looking forever. We won't ever find it. So we literally have to just make the time. And Nike was on it years ago when Nike said, just do it. It comes down to you. We have to just do it.
Yes. 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 I mean, what else do you say after that? You just have to say yes.
Yes.
Sound sound my audience. Do you hear it? We just have to say yes. Yes.
Just say
Why don't you
yes.
invite somebody? Why don't you tag somebody? Why don't you share this with somebody? Because somebody needs to hear this. And though I'm laughing, it is so serious, and especially in our culture. Um, One of the things that I do believe, Risha, is one of the reasons that COVID was um, so vital and it hit our culture so hard was because of a lot of the physical ailments that we had. It was because,
Right.
we weren't healthy, and we have to do better with our health, and it has to become something that is important to us, not because of any other reason other than it's important to us, and we want to be healthy, we want to live. And when, like you said, when it becomes important to us, then we make it a priority, like we do other
You have to
things in our
identify
lives.
your why. Yep, identify your why. Not because
Absolutely.
Risha said it, not because the doctor said it, not because we
Absolutely.
see it on the news, but what is your
Absolutely.
why? And once you identify
Absolutely.
your
What is
why,
your why?
that's the thing that's going to help you
That's the
keep
push.
going and
Yeah.
yep, that's going to be your day-to-day motivation, because what Risha said,
Yeah.
what the doctor said, that's going to be, you're going to forget that tomorrow or the day after. But when you're in
That's
touch with
good.
your why, that's what's going to
Yeah.
motivate you and keep you going, even when it's not easy to do so, even when it's not convenient,
Absolutely.
even when we don't have the time.
Absolutely. So find sound my audience. We gotta find our why, and then we move forward. We got to find our why and then stick to that. That was great, finding our why. So let me ask you this question. So when it comes to just overall health and well-being, how important is nutrition? We know, because a lot of people work out. I mean, they go and they hit the gym, but how important is nutrition as well, what we eat? How important is that to our overall well-being?
Right. And so I'm sure you've heard that you can't out exercise a poor diet. And so, but they're very
Right.
intertwined. And so we can't just focus on nutrition. We can't just do exercise. In order for us to be the best version of ourselves that we can be, there's no magic bullet. There's no magic bullet, but nutrition is at the core. Nutrition is what's going to give you that energy to exercise. Proper nutrition is what's going to allow your brain at night to just relax and restore itself, what's going to allow you to rest well, not just lay in the bed, but to actually get better rest. Those nutrient dense foods that you choose, limiting the processed foods that make you kind of drowsy, um, just not feel like really moving, but eating those foods that are going to give you life, those foods that are full of color, having color on your plate.
Wait, wait,
Those things
wait,
are what.
wait. You just said something. You said nutrition is a thing that gives you the energy to exercise.
Mhm.
I always thought I had this so wrong, because I thought I got to get up and exercise, because once I exercise, I have energy. But you just said it's the nutrition, it's what we eat that gives us the energy to get up to exercise.
Right. And it
So
doesn't have to
it's
be right before you exercise,
no,
but
yeah,
even
I
what
get
I
that.
do today, right, what I do
Hmm.
today is going to give me the energy, the stamina, the
To get
endurance to
up.
do what I need to do tonight and tomorrow.
Why? And I was
Absolutely.
always, I would always say, I'm so tired. I need to go exercise. because I was thinking that it was the exercise that would give me those endorphins and would give me the energy. I had it backwards. It actually is the nutrition that is what I'm
That
putting in
gives
my
you
body that gives
exactly.
me the energy. I never, and I mean, I'm sure maybe I knew it, maybe I didn't. I guess I didn't. I had it backwards because I always thought
Mhm,
that it was the exercising. Because
mhm.
people always say, oh, once you exercise, you feel so much better. You feel energized. You know what I'm saying? And you
And you
do.
do,
But
and you do.
yeah, but
Mhm.
I was thinking that it was that it was that energy. For some reason, I wasn't equating what I ate, the nutrition from my food that was giving me energy to exercise. That was an
Right,
aha
but
for
it's the
me. I don't know about you,
nutrients.
Salmine. Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
hear what you're
it's the
saying.
nutrients, and we can take a multivitamin, but it's nothing like getting those nutrients that our body needs, the vitamins, the minerals from the food that we eat. And sure, endorphins are great, but in order to have that energy, stamina, endurance, a healthy diet is part of that. Whole food diet, as many whole foods as you can put into your body, whole grains, your fruit, your vegetables. Again, they're at the core and essential for everything else. That's what's going to help us with our mental health. That's what's going to help stabilize our mood. You've heard of people being hangry when they just haven't had anything to eat. So, not having
uh,
anything to eat, not having proper nutrition, all of those can lend themselves to those mental health issues that don't contribute to our health, wellness, optimal well-being.
wow, wow. I did that for me. That was an aha moment. That just was an aha moment for me. So, for just one more question, because this is helping me. Don't know about you guys, sound my audience. I know it's helping y'all, but this is just great for me. So, a person that maybe juices, like when you get the nutrients that you get from juicing, those if you juice in the morning, because I know a lot of people that are juicing now, people who started that over the pandemic and all that. So when you juice and you get those nutrients, those are the nutrients that you're talking about that are in your body that are giving you the energy from the the greens and the leafy vegetables and the all the vegetables and fruits and vegetables that you're juicing from, that are giving you the energy that you need to do whatever it is that you're trying to do for the rest of the day and for the remainder of the day or whatever. Yeah.
Yes, and so this isn't going to be a popular answer, but yes, so juicing is certainly an avenue to get in some of the fruit and vegetables that our body needs, but it's missing a very important element that I have to mention. When we turn it into juice form, we are missing out on the fiber, and fiber is our friend. Fiber is that roughage part of fruit, vegetables, whole grains that are going to help us with elimination. It helps us with cholesterol. And so missing out, I'm working with so many people right now whose blood sugars are higher than they should be, and it's as a result of juicing. And so the message is good, but we do have to seek guidance or advice as to how to go about it, because if you are doing
Gotcha.
several pieces of fruit and juicing, again, you're missing out on the fiber. The fiber slows down how fast your body responds to the sugar, the natural sugar that may be in some of those. And so we don't want to do something and end up causing another problem on the back end. And so we
Right.
do just have to be wise in proceeding with juicing.
Thanks, Risha. Thanks. No,
I
but
know
we
I told
need
you it
to
wasn't
know
going to
that.
be
I mean,
I told you
I
it's not
know,
the
right,
popular answer.
right. But we need to know that. I mean, you do need to know that as well. So, like you say, you just have to know when you're doing things. What the pros and cons are to the things
Correct.
that you're bringing into your yeah, into your life. Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure that people know how to contact you. I do have another question or two, but I want to make sure that people know how to contact you before we leave. So can you give them your information, and if they need any more information about health, about nutrition, tell them how they can reach you via social media, or however they can reach you. Let them know, let our audience know that, please.
Okay. I'm on all social media platforms, Facebook, but Instagram is probably the best way to contact me. Sending me a direct message through Instagram, and I'd be sure to respond to you.
Listen, Sound Mind audience, I just want y'all to know that what this young lady is talking about today is something that she not only does, but she actually lives. If you are ever at Stone Mountain at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, you're gonna see her. She's there every morning. Rain, sleet, snow, doesn't matter. She's out there. I always see it posted because I'm always looking on Instagram when she gets done. But uh, what I know about Risha is that this is not something that she just talks about. It's not something that this is just not a job to her, but this is really, like she said, something that she lives, she believes in, um, and wherever she goes, she is always encouraging and empowering people to uh, eat healthy, to exercise, to do their best, so that they can have a healthier life and live the best life that they can. And so I'm just excited that she had the opportunity to join us today, and I'm thankful and grateful that she came alongside us today to just give us some wisdom and some nuggets today about health and our physical beings. And so I just want to say thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
I'm giddy for all that you've done, and thank you for being not only a part of our Sound Mind team, but a part of my life. I just appreciate you. So until next week, everybody, I want to say thank you all for joining us. I want to say that just remember that God hasn't given us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And so we will see you again really, really soon. God bless you.